How to handle debt now that you have finished school. I know this is a taboo subject, but we're going to discuss this on today's video. You guys, I'm Greg Todd. I'm the creator of Smart Success Healthcare, where I help healthcare professionals like you learn business skills and strategies so you can add a zero to your bottom line. Please do me a favor. Like this video, comment on the video, but more importantly, subscribe to the channel so more healthcare professionals can see this stuff. You guys, I know it's very stressful for many of you out there right now because you're like, crap, I finished school and I've got all this debt and I don't know what to do. It's nuts. Listen, I know that things are different for you than it was for me, but I think I have a little bit of experience when it comes to the perspective that you need to have when it comes to debt. Now, I can tell you this. I can tell you that when I graduated school in December 26, 2000, that's when I got my first job. I kind of had more of the Dave Ramsey mindset. It was what I was taught from my middle-class family. Don't have debt, don't have debt, don't have debt. And it stressed me out for the first 7 years of my career as a physical therapist. So here's the deal, you guys. I was trying to avoid debt at all costs. And I actually finished PT school with no debt, but I got married. And what's mine is yours and what's yours is mine, right? So I kind of inherited my wife's debt from school and then the debt that I had, some debt on a credit card. So it's close to maybe 45, 50K, all right? And I know many of you have a lot more than that, but I think there's certain things that I can help you with today to help you look at it a little bit differently, okay? What I didn't understand at that time is I had I believe, an improper perspective on debt. I believe that all debt was bad. But the reality is that not all debt is bad. There is good debt and there's bad debt and then there's your debt, okay? So let's talk about that. I'm gonna go to the board and show you a couple things. All right, so let's talk about bad debt first, okay? So bad debt is where I spend money and it gives me very little money in return. That's not good. We don't like that, okay? And then there is good debt. There's good debt where I spend money and in return, it eventually gives me much more moolah, okay? So let's talk about what each of these actually look like. For me, bad debt would be, at least for me, getting an Xbox. Now, I love to play video games. I love to play NBA 2K with my son. I like to play Madden. I like to do all this stuff. But that, if I have to go into debt to get an Xbox and the Xbox doesn't make me more money because I'm not Tfue, I'm not Ninja or whoever the gamers are now on YouTube. I'm not those people. I'm not making money from it. That is actually not a good reason to go into debt. Conversely, good debt is when I am spending money on something and I'm investing money and then that thing has the ability to make me more money. Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. Let's talk about my rental property. Okay, my rental property, I went into debt to purchase the rental property and that rental property went on to allow me to rent different people that place, whether it was business associates, whether it was my staff, whether it was me renting it out to other people. I had this place in Indian Shores, Florida. It's about 5 to 10 minutes from where my main house is in Indian Rocks Beach. And it made me money. It cash flowed for me. And then in 2021, I sold it. And I basically was able to take a check for over $300,000 from that property. So I went into debt. I went into $500,000 worth of debt, but then it paid me the $500,000 back and it paid me another $300,000 above that in 4.5 years. That's good debt, okay? So now let's talk about your debt. And I want you all to think of this because recently I built a property, or actually I didn't build it. I purchased a property in North Georgia. It's going to be another vacation rental that we're going to use for our family, but it's also going to be something that we're going to rent out to other people, all right? If you're interested, just let me know. All right, so here's the deal. Let's talk about that, right? So this is what happened, right? We've got this place, okay, and this place is in the mountains. Let's just call it like that. And let's just say that this right here is the piece of property that the builder got. It's a piece of land, okay? And the land, let's just say it was 15K, all right? I want you all to think of it like this. The land right now is you all graduating from traditional school. Okay? So the builder paid $15,000 for the land. I'm just coming at that. You might have paid $80,000 for school. And you've learned how to be a clinician. Maybe you're an occupational therapist. You're a dietitian. You're a physical therapist. You're a chiropractor. Okay, your school might have been $100,000. It might have been $150,000. Here's the deal. The deal is that the land is worth something, but it's not really worth a lot. And when I came out of school in 2000, I had skills, but I had skills that allowed me to be able to make $39,500 a year because they were clinical skills. So in my first job, I made $39,500. What did I know how to do? Well, I knew how to evaluate. I knew how to treat at an average level because I was a new grad. And basically, that's what the investment, we'll call this, the land, got me. Okay? Now, here's what happened. These people that built my house, they're called PHP Construction. Okay? And what PHP Construction did is they bought the land, but they said, you know what? This land can become much more valuable. So here's what they did, you guys. They blew down this part. Let me erase all this. They said, all right, let's take all this down. And what they did is they said, we're going to use all this land. It's 1.5 acres, right? And what they did is they built a foundation, and then they went up, and then they built a door, and then they built the inside, and it's got stairs that go up, and it's got this cool roof, and it's got this deck, and it's got the backyard, and it looks like that, and you got the clouds and the trees. Okay, all right. Okay, I think you get my point. I suck at drawing. But here's what happened. Now they were able to build on the land, and they were able to compound the land to where now they built this house. And the house is beautiful. And it's a brand new home. And it's worth so much more. The home is worth 50 times what the land cost. But they had to build on the home. That's called compounding your investment by adding more to the investment. So what does this actually look like for you? This home is now worth 50 times more, and that's what they sold it to me, for 50 times more what the land was. Okay? So this is what I think is really important for you to understand. What does that look like for you? Well, instead of evaluate and treat, which is what you might have learned, this is now the skill of communication. This is now the skill of leading. This is now the skill of creativity and solving problems for your patients in the marketplace. This is a skill of visionary. Now, I tell you all that because if you want to be able to handle your debt, if you think, oh my gosh, I went into school and I came out with $200,000 worth of debt and I'm only making $60,000 or $70,000 or $80,000 a year, I think what you have to understand is that you might have to go into more debt possibly so that you can compound your skills so that you can get the actual debt to income return that you're actually looking for. So what does that look like for you? Well, listen, I can only tell you what that looked like for me. For me, what I did for my first 5-6 years is I only focused on building the land better. And the land for me was my clinical skills. But I would say from 2007 to now, I have focused on actually building the home on the land and compounding my skills. That's the skills of communication. That's the skills of creativity. That's the skills of thinking outside the box. That's the skills of me being able to add more value to more people than that's in my geographical region of my clinics. And that has allowed my land to be worth so much more money. I want you all to understand the power of compounding your skill set. PT school, OT school is just the plot of land. Good debt is where you invest money into actually building the home. And I believe that for many of you, you need to look at debt in that way. Not to go into debt to be able to buy a house for you to live in, for you to buy a car for you to be able to drive. That's not going to make you money. Start focusing on how can I build assets. Assets are property that's going to make you passive income. You might not have the money for that. Okay, great. Then how about your skill set? A skill set that's going to allow me to be much more valuable in a marketplace. What I can tell you is that the people that have the scarce skills are the ones that make the top dollar. Now, the reality is that most people in healthcare, they are trying to get more skill to be good at doing the thing. A lot of people have those skill sets, but most people don't have the skill set of communication. I'm not talking about communication of you talking to a client in front of you. Everybody knows how to do that good. I'm talking about having a communication to be able to talk to people that don't even know what it is that you do. That's called building on the land and building the home on the land. So I want you all to think about that. Reframe your perspective on debt. There's good debt and then there's bad debt. The good debt is where you're actually going to put more money into something that's going to make your home value worth more. You going to traditional school is just the land. Let's now build on it, but build the right things on it. You guys, I want you all to check out a couple more videos that I have. It's a video that I did. If you need an encouragement, a word of encouragement, you can watch this. And then I did another video about let's strategize your 2023. I think that'll help you with that visionary skill that I was talking about in this video. Again, like, comment, subscribe on the channel, and I want you all to tell me what you got from this video below. Thanks so much.